Greetings and salutations, all you beautiful individuals. It is another epi of League Unlocked. My name is Eric. Find a little Han Solo on today's epi as we break your regularly scheduled Worlds programming for a little tasty bit of off-season news. As is tradition, teams like to sneak in a little tasty morsel of drama before the actual World Finals gets going, and it's unfortunately for North America, another stud player being lost over to Europe. Sheep Esports and some others reporting that Busio, as part of this FlyQuest blow-up that seemed inevitable, thought maybe the bot lane would at least stick around, but now we're hearing Busio will be joining Karmine Corp in EU for 2026, which I don't think many or anybody probably had on their bingo cards to see that happen. So I don't really know what to think. I mean, you can think now, what's this Karmine Corp roster going to be looking like? We know Kana and Yike most likely coming back. We know they probably want a Korean import for the mid lane. That's been the rumors. And now Busio and Kalist in that bot lane. And hearing that Repeared will be the head coach joining this squad, which makes sense again if there's going to be two Korean imports on this roster. I know people are maybe a little bit low or down on Reaper after the past year on Cloud9, how things played out, but how much are you putting on coaching for that? I still feel like Reaper is one of the most well-respected coaches in the Western scene. We'll see how he does in Europe, but again, rumored two Korean imports, and then you might say, well, how can they have Busio come in as a third import over from NA? But he's got a Polish passport, so he doesn't even take up an import slot in EU, which is a nice little bonus for KC and for Busio to have that opportunity. It sounds like there were many teams within both the LTA and the EMEA that were interested in Busio. We heard Lyon Gaming, FlyQuest obviously wanted to bring him back. I'm sure there were other LCS squads, that's right, LCS squads, that were also interested in him. But I mean, that Karmine Corp lineup looks pretty fire. You know, Kana was kind of consensus top two, probably best top laner in the LEC. Yike, despite kind of falling out a bit at the end in the Fnatic series, was still a premier jungler. And I don't think anyone's arguing that Busio was an upgrade over Targamas from last split. So the bot lane should be elite. This is an exciting KC roster. It just feels bad to see another bright star in the LCS heading over to Europe. Maybe Inspired's going to end up going there as well. And, you know, this happened with Jojo Pian, but that was like the first time we're talking about LCS players going over to EU. And Jojo had such great success going to MSI and going to the World Championship, winning a title with Koi. I feel like that's opened the door, opened the opportunity, and proven to other star players in the LCS that they can go over there, make a name for themselves, and find success. So losing talent feels real bad, especially when it's the domestic NA talent that you want to be building entire organizations around. And again, I thought Masu and Busio might have stuck together, but obviously the opportunity to play with Kalist, probably something Busio very much excited about. But this is basically the best support in North America, and you're losing him to another region. It feels bad, and now it really feels like it's a bigger FlyQuest blow up than we were even thinking. Blippo's already going to be out. Sounds like there's no chance Inspired comes back. Quad is a question mark. Busio's gone. Hopefully Masu stays for their sake to save something, and then you're building the whole organization around him. But either way, kind of sad to see the full blow up there. And if you look at replacing Busio, I mean, Vulcan is still in contract for Cloud9 and through to next year. Core JJ's technically a free agent, but he's probably not going to leave Team Liquid. That seems like where he's going to retire. And maybe somebody like Zazel from Luminosity Gaming, who dominated the NACL, to come join. He's a veteran who's been around for a while, but has kind of had a resurgence in his career. But the truth is, there's no equal of value replacement to Busio that FlyQuest or anyone else could find. So hopefully the talent pool of North America doesn't continue to take a hit time and time again. But if you want to look at the silver lining in all this, this is what happened to EU in years past when guys like Perks and other star EU players, I mean, Inspired is a prime example of it, going over to North America to get a nice big payday. And then you got to see more opportunities for these ERL younger players, up and coming tier 2, get that promotion opportunity and prove themselves. And then you have guys like Humanoid Nemesis who, Vladdy, all these guys got to kind of showcase that they can be stars in their own right. So maybe we'll start seeing the talent pipeline in North America start to rev up a little bit, even though it feels like it's a much bigger pool over in Europe because there's so many more ERLs to choose from. So we'll see if that ends up being a thing going forward. But for now, big blow for FlyQuest, rough for North America. But I am excited for this KC lineup. Regardless, I don't know who they end up getting in that mid lane. We heard that Loki is not going to be with Cloud9, but that's because he wants to be closer to family in Seoul, in South Korea, so he's not going to be going over to EU to play with K-Corp. So Poby probably going to come back with Fnatic. It sounds still heavily linked like it's going to be a Korean import mid laner, and again, the Reapered signing only kind of further pushes that narrative forward. So definitely stay locked in and see what this KC lineup ends up being, but cautiously optimistic and excited about this squad. Early days still in the offseason. Also, I alluded to the LCS. It's back. Yes, we knew the rebrand was happening. They've already changed over some of the YouTube and other socials back to the LCS name, and it just feels good, man, to be saying that and not LTA North-South, blah, blah, blah. But we got a short update from everybody's favorite commissioner, Mark Z, about the format heading into 2026, and kudos to him and Riot. They can at least make a little bit of fun that the LTA format was a massive strikeout. No good. Didn't work. So we're retooling, revamping the whole thing. We're going back to the lock-in tournament, it sounds like, with a slightly different format where you're getting more of the Swiss stage format akin to the World Championship, except it's best of threes throughout, and that was the best music to my ears, and really the only important announcement in this teaser of an announcement is that no best of ones. 3 split format still, but no best of ones. We're getting, again, that lock-in tournament with the best of threes, the winner qualifying for first stand, and then it's just spring and summer splits with best of 3 round robins, and then that double elim bracket. They're not trying to do anything gimmicky like you choose your opponent week to week based on standings. They tried that. It didn't work. Nobody cared. It was funny seeing these guys come out with flags and banners, but it was all showy and didn't actually make storylines that more interesting or make people more excited about the game. So no best of ones, best of threes, especially as we seem to fully get adapted into that fearless draft, because I don't think anyone could go back now. That was the danger of when they did slowly switch to fearless. Now that we've gotten used to it for the better part of this year, if you go back and you had to see the same champion 3 games in a row, it just feels bad. So they had to commit to it, so I'm happy that they're doing that. Lots more details are going to be revealed when they have the LCS address later, before the lock-in tournament kicks off on January 24th, and I'm sure we'll be getting, Mark alluded to there being more match days. So not just Saturday, Sunday, perhaps a Friday thrown in, maybe a middle of the week match, who knows. But again, that's another thing that people have been calling for. And before the whole LTA thing, remember the LCS right before, they were actually listening to the audience, and 2024, they made a lot of great changes that people were very happy with. So I'm, again, cautiously optimistic as you should be whenever Riot is announcing something. And by the way, that is incredibly cautious, but I have a little bit of hope that they're going to completely redo the format, make it better like it was in 2024, because again, the viewership can't get worse. Right, guys? Possibly can't get worse. That'd be impossible. So excited for these changes. They were obviously warranted. They may have already been too late, and they might have killed the entire region. We'll see, though. Depends how well this rebrand fully goes. But no question, people are going to be more excited to see that LCS logo popping up for a lot of these matches, even if they're losing star players like Busio. Maybe inspired, but it's still opportunity for other players to step up and stand out on that LCS stage. But that is it today for League Unlocked. My name is Eric. Thank you to all you stunners for hanging out as always, and you best believe we'll catch you on that flippity flip.